April 2025, the EU just threatened to cancel a $33 billion Boeing deal, and America's largest exporter is spiraling. Trump's tariffs lit the fuse, Europe's firing back, and China's circling the wreckage. What's at stake isn't just planes, it's thousands of U.S. jobs, global air dominance, and the future of Western industry. This isn't turbulence. This is a full-scale trade war at 40,000 feet. And it's already begun. On April 9, 2025, the European Union shocked the aviation world by threatening to cancel $33 billion worth of Boeing jet orders. These deals involve major European airlines like Lufthansa, Ryanair, Air France, KLM, and Iberia. The move came after Trump imposed fresh tariffs on European steel and technology just days earlier. In response, EU trade officials said they're ready to walk away from American planes. That would be a massive hit to Boeing, which depends heavily on European buyers to stay profitable. Ryanair's CEO, Michael O'Leary, even sent a letter to Congress, warning that higher costs from these tariffs could force a complete change in their aircraft strategy. These are not future deals. Many of the jets are already on assembly lines. If canceled, Boeing would face major financial losses, factory slowdowns, and potential layoffs. At the same time, Airbus is already fully booked through 2030, meaning Europe can apply pressure without losing options. And with China's COMAC now in the conversation, Europe has more leverage than ever. This isn't just a trade dispute, it's a warning shot. If Europe turns its back on Boeing, who picks up the pieces, and what happens to thousands of U.S. aviation jobs? Trump's new tariffs, announced on April 6, 2025, were meant to punish Europe. Instead, they've backfired, hitting the U.S. aviation industry hard. The tariffs added a 25% tax on key parts used in aircraft manufacturing, like landing gear, cockpit systems, and cabin components made in Europe. Many of these parts are essential for Boeing jets. Experts from Brookings and S&P Global say this could slow production in cities like Seattle and Wichita, where Boeing builds most of its planes. Right now, 31% of Boeing's 2025 revenue depends on transatlantic sales. If European buyers cancel, that number could drop fast. Meanwhile, the EU is already in talks to shift its orders to Airbus and even China's COMAC. Trump may have thought the tariffs would bring jobs back, but instead, they're threatening the ones we already have. Airlines are now caught in the middle, forced to pay more for planes or delay orders. The result? Less growth, higher costs, and more pressure on Boeing. But if Boeing collapses in Europe, how is China already moving in behind the smoke? While the US and Europe clash, China is quietly taking advantage. Its state-backed aircraft maker COMAC is now stepping into the spotlight with the C919 jet. In just the first 3 months of 2025, COMAC signed over 70 aircraft deals with airlines in Africa and the Middle East. And now some European carriers are looking its way too. The EU is speeding up certification of the C919, hoping to approve it for European skies by June. At the same time, leaked documents shared by Nikkei Asia show that COMAC is offering major discounts, up to 20% off bulk orders, backed by low-interest loans from Chinese banks. It's a bold move to grab global market share while Boeing is distracted. The C919 still faces questions about long-term performance, but China is playing the long game. They're not just selling planes, they're building influence. One aviation analyst said it best, this was a two-player race. Now it's a three-way standoff. Is the EU really turning to Chinese jets? Or is this just leverage in a much bigger geopolitical chess game? While Boeing struggles, Airbus is quietly staying ahead. Instead of absorbing tariff costs, they're avoiding them. A recent Airbus A350 meant for Delta Airlines was rerouted through Tokyo before landing in the US, a smart way to dodge import taxes. This isn't a one-time trick. Airbus is now using third-country delivery routes more often to bypass Trump's tariff wall. On April 8th, Airbus CEO Guillaume Faury made it clear, "We will adapt, but not at any cost." That means U.S. airlines must now shoulder the extra fees. And with fuel prices rising and labor demands growing, many carriers are already stretched thin. Still, Airbus is keeping delivery schedules intact, preserving trust while Boeing faces growing cancellations. At the same time, the EU is backing Airbus with the logistical support, giving them a trade advantage without direct retaliation. This shows how even global giants must now adjust flight paths, payment plans, and partnerships just to stay competitive. But Airbus isn't the only one rewriting its delivery routes. Most people believe Boeing jets are built entirely in America, but in reality, many of their critical parts come from Europe. France supplies the landing gear, Germany builds cabin systems, Italy manufactures major fuselage sections. These parts are shipped across the Atlantic and assembled in U.S. factories. But now with Trump's new tariffs and Europe's threat to retaliate, that flow could be blocked. A leaked Boeing memo from early April warned that supply delays could stretch production timelines by 3 to 6 months. Experts at the Peterson Institute say that even a short pause in deliveries could trigger billions in penalties and order cancellations. Without these parts, Boeing can't finish the planes already on its production lines, and finding new suppliers could take years, not weeks. Some of these materials are so advanced only a few companies in the world can produce them. If Europe chooses to strike back by targeting aerospace-grade exports, Boeing's entire supply chain could crack. The price of every jet would rise, margins would collapse, and the damage would ripple from engineers and suppliers all the way to factory floor workers. And as U.S. manufacturers scramble to keep planes on schedule, airlines are drawing up emergency strategies of their own. With tariffs rising and supply chains under threat, airlines are no longer waiting for answers. They're making new plans. Ryanair, one of Boeing's biggest customers, is now openly considering other aircraft makers, including Airbus and even China's Comac. Lufthansa and EasyJet are also reviewing their long-term fleet strategies, looking to reduce risks tied to U.S.-based suppliers. The uncertainty is pushing carriers to explore backup options in case deliveries are delayed, prices increase, or geopolitical tensions escalate. Some are even building dual-supplier models to avoid over-reliance on any one company. Air India, for example, is in talks to purchase Boeing jets originally meant for European airlines, planes that may now go unused due to the EU's cancellation threat. It's a clever move that takes advantage of aircraft already built but stuck in limbo. In today's market, any opportunity to grab a ready-to-fly aircraft is seen as a win. Meanwhile, American airlines are facing a new challenge: rising costs combined with shrinking supply. Some are delaying upgrades, reworking route plans, or canceling expansion entirely. For global carriers, the focus is shifting from brand loyalty to strategic survival. And that means companies that once depended solely on Boeing may now spread their bets across Airbus, Comac, or whoever delivers first. Do airlines even care about geopolitics, or are they just chasing fuel efficiency and fast delivery? The impact of this trade war isn't just hitting planes, it's shaking the entire global economy. On April 12th, Goldman Sachs lowered its U.S. growth forecast for 2025 from 2.1% to 1.4%, citing the aviation crisis as a major risk factor. Boeing, once a symbol of American industrial power and global reach, lost over $6 billion in market value in just 1 week. The company has now launched an internal review of its third-quarter outlook, warning investors of possible order cancellations, supply chain disruptions, and unexpected production delays. At the same time, European airports are scrambling to adjust their cargo routes, delivery schedules, and passenger traffic plans as aircraft shipments stall or shift to other suppliers. The ripple effect is spreading fast, impacting airlines, airport jobs, aircraft leasing firms, maintenance providers, logistics companies, and even fuel suppliers. Aviation is more than just transportation, it's a global economic engine tightly woven into trade, tourism, and financial flows. And when planes stop moving, so does money. Countries dependent on exports and business travel could see sharp downturns if these tensions persist. Experts warn this is no longer a short-term slowdown, it's a clear signal of deeper structural instability. The skies may still be open, but the trust and coordination that once kept global aviation stable is now coming undone. Will this get resolved, or are we witnessing the permanent fragmentation of global aviation alliances? The battle for the skies has begun. Planes, profits, and power are all on the line. Subscribe for more hard-hitting stories on global trade, aviation, and politics. Drop your thoughts below because this turbulence is far from over.